Now, the South African Social Security Agency, SASSA, will start using a new fingerprint and facial recognition system at all its offices from the 1st of September. The system, called the Beneficiary Biometric Enrollment, or BBE, will be used for new grant applicants, people under review, and those updating their details. SASSA says the move will help stop fraud and make the grant system more secure. The decision comes after long talks with unions, which have now been resolved, allowing SASSA to roll out the new system. Paseka Letsatsi, the SASSA spokesperson, joins us now for more on this conversation. Paseka, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it this morning. Welcome to AM Report. Why now? Why the biometric testing? We've just fixed the cards. We've just said that those cards are going to be more secure. What's changed?
Good morning, Arabile, and thanks for having me. We have been having an engagement with the labor and all other stakeholders to make sure that the system gets implemented. It's been more than 5 years, I can assure you, Arabile. But I think the main thrust here is to make sure that we protect the grants beneficiary system, in a sense that there's been fraud taking place from both the employees and the beneficiary side. So we need to make sure that the system is protected so that the public purse, but obviously the database in terms of the information of beneficiaries is protected as well.
So this means you're going to be taking fingerprint scans of everybody that comes in. How do you plan to roll this out? Because it sounds like it's going to be pretty extensive. You have to be very far-reaching because some places aren't as urban as others. And then that also means you'll be taking facial recognition and iris scans, if I'm correct. So there's a lot of technological push in this.
No, there is. I think you may understand, Arabile, that when we talk about the ID, your old green ID book, it's easy for a scammer or a fraudster to remove the picture and put the picture of somebody else, apply for a grant, and defraud the system. Secondly, some people's faces have gone through what we call the process of metamorphosis. What a person looked like 20 years or 30 years ago looks differently from those years which gone past.
I wanted to ask about that rollout again. I think we were talking about from the 1st of September. When do you anticipate to have everybody onto the system?
Thanks, Arabile. I hope technology won't disappoint us this time. We are rolling it out in all SASSA offices. The intention here is to make sure that we protect both beneficiary and SASSA staff members. And I think I can mention two levels here. One, as earlier indicated, that for an example, we have a live interaction with the Department of Home Affairs. So if you come to our offices and you put your fingerprint, would be able to pick it up that this is the relevant person, or indeed this person is the one who's making an application. But secondly, even when our staff members log in the system, we used to give them passwords. And I'm sure you know, with a password, you would have a situation where a person comes to the office or take leave on the day and pass the code to a fellow employee, so that they can then be able to load the fraudulent grants applications. And once they do that, when you catch them up, they will tell you that on the day in question, I was not at work.
Yeah.
But for now, you can't tell me that somebody stole your finger or somebody stole your face and you were not at work.
Yeah, unless, of course, you're in a James Bond or a Tom Cruise type movie situation. But anyway, Paseka, let's talk about, and I want to simplify it for some of our viewers who may be using the grant system and need to understand what will happen once they go to their grant offices and are looking to collect their grant. Does this mean they will then have to hand over their identity document, plus have a scan of their fingerprint and have facial recognition before they can collect?
No, definitely. I'm sure you know that people have been defacing the green ID. That's why we support the project by the Department of Home Affairs for people to have the smart card ID. Your old ID, the green ID book, you can simply remove the picture and put the different one, apply for a grant, and you get it. Because in terms of us, when we get a document, they will be authenticated. But we're not going to make the life of a beneficiary very difficult. The intention here is to make sure that the staff member of SASSA is 100% sure that the person standing in front of them is indeed Paseka Letsatsi who's making the application.
How do you make sure then that technological gremlins don't come into the back door either? You have all this biometric data, you have all these fingerprints, etc., and then it gets a breach in the back door of this information. How do you ensure technologically that it all stays safe?
We are alive to the fact that when you take 10 steps forward to make life easy and to protect the public purse, I mean, we are controlling a lot of money, 280 billion per annum. You would have people who are trying to take 15 steps ahead of us to make sure that they defraud the system. We have an engagement with our ICT, and they've given us an assurance that in terms of their system, they will try and do everything possible to make sure that they protect the database of the beneficiaries and obviously of the organization. From where we are comfortable, Arabile, that would make it extremely difficult for the fraudsters to penetrate our system. Yes, from where we are, we cannot simply sit and say nobody will attempt to penetrate and steal the information, but we are ready and we think our system are up for the challenge.
All right, well, we'll hold you to that then, Paseka, and we'll certainly be in conversation with you if anything nefarious is said to happen. There's so much more we could be speaking about when it comes to SASSA as well, but I appreciate your time this morning with a few of those technological gremlins as well.